Oh, Billy No Balls is at it again, isn't he? So if you didn't know, Bill Belichick has put out a statement, an official statement, and his girlfriend has responded and released emails. We'll get into major red flag. You know how your mom would tell you sometimes it's best not to just say anything at all? Sometimes it's best not to say anything at all. That's probably what should happen here. And if Bill's asked about it, he should say, I'm just focused on coaching the team. That would be a classic Bill Belichick move, and people would probably respect him for it. It just keeps getting worse, though. It just keeps getting worse. Now, I called in last night to Tar Heel Huddle's Colin show. He's a North Carolina YouTuber. If you're not subscribed to him, you should definitely go subscribe to him. Super cool guy. And I get it. If he was my coach, I'd be having to run damage control for him too. But these guys, they're digging the hole deeper for themselves. So this is an article from People. So evidently Jordan Hudson went out, told everyone full statement to be released later today, alongside a screenshot of an email to what appear to be his book publishers. Again, it's hard to tell the context of this email. We'll look at it. And then she posted some screenshot of a video that's like 35 minutes long with shoes sitting on some grass. Look, it makes about as much sense as anything else North Carolina has done in the past 30 years or so. But let's look at this email. So again, I guess this is with him and his book publisher. And he says, I don't think this is fantastic, but it will probably hype the book, which is clearly the ongoing theme here, ... Okay. This is about what I expected from the media. We went through how important it was for me to put I effed up in the book. And of course, that is the feature of this article. So I don't know what article he's talking about. I guess maybe they wrote an op-ed for the book or something. But to continue, which is mostly about admitting mistakes and talking about a Super Bowl mistake. I am fine with putting mistakes in the book, but I am certainly not surprised that 260 plus pages, that is what they would highlight. That of 260 plus pages, that's what they would highlight. And of course, the I effed up is the clickbait they use for the story. We'll see what the title of the article is, which I notice has been conveniently left out. Do we have approval on that? I would approve this article if we can also approve the headline, which is actually more important than the article. When we expect that the interviews and podcasts, which are in quotes, that will supposedly drive the sales will also come from similar samples. These appearances will, no doubt, want to focus on whatever negatives they can extract from the book and all the current events that don't have anything to do with the book, but are most relevant to their quote-unquote ratings and their agenda, which is not mine. Again, this is Bill Belichick talking to what we can gather is his publisher. That was evident when Ailerod dropped the story because we would not do current events at UNC. We'll see how many people want to talk about the $5,000 bill for quote unquote spoiled milk and other entertaining and business aspects of the book. I have no doubt the I effed up will not be the main focus of Ray DeLeo and Susie Welch in my conversation with them. So this email is dated 2 weeks before his CBS interview. And this is something that his girlfriend, an email she has released, I guess to do damage control or make this look better. I don't understand. First of all, that she's releasing, really confidential emails between him and a party of his is a big red flag for what could happen at UNC. So from what I can tell from this email, he doesn't want to talk about what's currently going on at UNC. He goes in to do an interview with the people at CBS. So they can't talk about UNC. She's in the book. She is in the book and also sitting menacingly in the corner there. It's reasonable to expect that you're going to be asked about your girlfriend. Also, he could have said, I don't want to talk about her. Like, he could have said that himself. He didn't need her to come in and ramrod the show. Also, she did that multiple times, by the way, and they edited those out. They just left the one time where they asked about how their relationship began specifically. So it's been edited to make it look probably as good as it can as far as her intrusiveness. But I don't get this. I don't get it at all. Her getting on Instagram and releasing confidential emails is a problem. Like, what happens during the season if she starts leaking stuff out because she feels like she's protecting, Bill in some way? Like, it could get ugly. Now, the damage control, what I hear from UNC fans is, oh, well, she's not going to be calling plays, yada, yada, yada. Perception is reality. It's not good. It's going to be used probably to recruit against you. I would think the players on your team are kind of like, it's weird. I don't like it. Anyways, let's hear from Bill's response. So this is April 30th. So he put this out today. Quote from University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill head coach Bill Belichick. I agreed to speak with CBS Sunday morning to promote my new book, The Art of Winning: Lessons of My Life in Football. Prior to this interview, I clearly communicated with my publicist, Simon & Schuster, that any promotional interviews I participated in would agree to focus solely on the contents of the book. Again, he talks about her in the book, and she was at the interview. So I don't know what he's mad about. Unfortunately, that expectation was not honored during the interview. I was surprised when unrelated topics were introduced, and I repeatedly expressed to the reporter, Donnie, and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his last name, or Tony, and the producers that I preferred to keep the conversation centered on the book. Again, she's in the book. She's in the book. After this occurred several times, Jordan, with whom I share both a personal and professional relationship, stepped in to reiterate that point to help refocus the discussion. Why do you need her to do that, though? I mean, Bill Belichick, this is one of the greatest football coaches of all time, which is what he was known for before now, before he, is auditioning for Chris Hansen or something. Why can't Bill say, look, I'm not going to answer that? And all of this could have been avoided. Anyways, she was not deflecting any specific question or topic. She absolutely was. She didn't. She said, you're not answering that, talking about a question about how they met. But simply doing her job to ensure the interview stayed on track. Some of the clips make it appear as though we were avoiding the question of how we met, but we have been open about the fact that Jordan and I met on a flight to Palm Beach in 2021. Well, why was she not okay with you saying that, man? Like, none of this makes sense. The final 8-minute segment does not reflect the productive 35-minute conversation we had, which covered a wide range of topics related to my career. Instead, it presents selectively edited clips and stills from just a few minutes of the interview to suggest a false narrative that Jordan was attempting to control the situation, which is simply not true. So he's saying, what did he just say? She was not deflecting any specific question, but simply doing her job to ensure the interview stayed on track. So what she did was doing her job. And then he says Jordan was not attempting to control the situation. She either was, or so Bill literally contradicts himself within his statement. Look, I don't necessarily have any ill will toward North Carolina, but there's got to be some donors that are sweating right now, and maybe like, hey, Not necessarily buyer's remorse, but worrying like, did we make a mistake? Is this about to blow up spectacularly? Like, let's say Bill has an embarrassing loss. Then you have Jordan Hudson going on Instagram, saying crazy things to try and defend Bill, releasing an email or something that she thinks makes Bill look good, because the email that she released doesn't make any sense. So instead, in the era of conference realignment, you hired Bill to kind of lead you into the next frontier of whatever that's going to be for North Carolina, right? That's one reason, or that's what I'm told. Instead of that, you're going to be looked at, but for a clown show. You're going to be looked at because, what other thing has his girlfriend done or whatever. Either way, it's a distraction that you don't want. It's a distraction that you don't need. I'll tell you what it makes me think of. Remember in The Walking Dead, season 7, where 2 main characters got killed in gruesome fashion, and we all stopped watching at that point because you completely emasculated the main character, which was Rick. That's exactly what's happening now. You take a guy who's a strong leader, well-respected coach, and you cut his knees out from under him. You make him look like some guy that can't even properly represent himself without his 24-year-old girlfriend stepping in. That's exactly what he's saying had to happen. So it ain't good. It ain't good. So let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, I think this statement is nonsensical, and really, again, if I was in North Carolina, if I was in their administration, I would have advised Bill, just don't say anything. Don't say anything. Something else will happen. I don't know. Maybe the Falcons will be fined $250,000 for basically making the prank call to Shador happen, and they'll focus on that. So that happened recently. Now we're all focused on this nonsensical, response, and a 24-year-old girl. That was the other thing I heard on Russ's show. I mean, you can't expect a 24-year-old girl not to act like a 24-year-old girl. Right. That's why the adult in the room needs to take charge, and he's not. Y'all have a good one.